Hey guys, what is up? It is SkullFlag44 here, back for my trip, for my little vacation for 10 days. I went to Idaho, and I figured I would do a commentary like I did the high school tip series. Same gameplay, actually, just continued. Not like, I mean, this is, you haven't seen this like before, but it's continuation. Just kind of talk about my trip because I had a lot to talk about. I don't have like a list of things down because I just decided to kind of just ramble on, see how long I can do that. But I might kind of go back to it after I think of something. But I have kind of like retold some stories already, so maybe that'll bring it back to my head. I don't really know. I'm just gonna wing it, and we'll see where it takes me. So I guess I'll just kind of generally say the trip was awesome. I had a great time. It was good, fun, cool. I'm not like prefacing this like before I go on and saying something terrible, but I'm just kind of like, if you, that's all you need to hear and you're out of the video, they're good. It was from July 10th to July 21st, and I kind of was like vague about where I went, but I went to Priest Lake, Idaho. Not that, I don't know why, like I just kind of like started vaguely saying, like, being vague. I just said I went to Idaho. Um, but I guess it would have been more weird if someone like saw me there. Not that they would see me there, but someone's probably been to Priest Lake before because it's actually a pretty popular lake. Anyway, Priest Lake, Idaho. It's my favorite lake ever. It's like 70 degrees. It's beautiful. It's awesome. But anyway, if you ever like hear about Priest Lake, Idaho, you should definitely go. They have lots of little, places. I stayed at a cabin and my aunt and uncle's cabin, and then at a little resort type place. It's getting kind of run down. Anyway, so started off on the trip. I went to visit my grandparents who live in Idaho. They live like an hour away, hour and a half away or so. So kind of drive down there. It takes about 5 hours to get there ish. So kind of longer drive. It's me, my mom, and my dog, because my dad and my sister were meeting us when we went to the resort thing. Just because work, and my sister had like friends' houses, like parties she already was going to or whatever. And my dog came with us too because he could kind of like hang out. He's not allowed to. They don't have no dog policy at the resort thing, but he could hang out, at the cabin or whatever. And then we dropped him off at like a little boarding place or whatever. When it was time to go to a resort thing. Calling it a resort sounds weird because it's really not a resort, but I guess I'll call it that. And so, go there, go see my grandparents. Well, the first thing I remember is that we get in the car. The car's like super hot. We stopped at the Safeway, and well, I guess before that, I was like, my mom was like, "Oh, do you want anything?" Because we stopped for gas. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a yellow Gatorade." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be great." My mom goes in, and it's a lemonade Gatorade she got, which I didn't realize there was. I thought, I mean, I guess I could have specified lemon lime, but I've never had to do that. So apparently there is lemonade Gatorade, which I don't know why you'd want that. Like, you can get lemonade or you can get Gatorade, and you don't need a lemonade Gatorade, but maybe a lot of people like it. I don't know. That wasn't. I mean, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was lemonade, and I'm not a huge lemonade fan. And so got that, but drank some of that or whatever, and I actually froze it at the resort, but then I never finished. I think I left it in the freezer. Oh well. So got that, and then kind of drove out. But like, even just kind of like being there, we were in like our smaller car, because we had to leave the other car behind because that was towing the boat, the bigger car, which we usually take. And so like even at like that gas station, it was just kind of weird because like there's just some weird people. And then we stopped at a Safeway near the border of Idaho and Washington, and there's this, like, my mom went in to get the groceries or whatever, but then like I was like, "Oh, I'll come in or whatever," because it was hot or whatever. But then we had the windows down because my dog was in the back, and then I was like, I guess someone could kind of like unlock the door and steal something. Not that they would really do that, but for some reason I was like, I had like a weird feeling about that. So I went back to the car because I'm like, I don't really need to be here. I'll just check some stuff on my mom's phone or whatever, or iPhone. Get up to date on all the sports that's gone on, right about the minor league all-star game. And then there's this weird guy like looking at me, like I kept kind of looking back, like, "What do you want?" And the car was like super hot, because I had like the air conditioning going, but the air conditioning, it was like wasn't actually, the car wasn't actually on, so it kind of just like wasn't very powerful or whatever. And when I came back to kind of get back to the car, my dog was in the front seat, which is kind of weird. And that was just really, I was like, oh my, this is really weird. And then we drove out of there, and it was, no problem. But he like even moved up to get close to me. It was really strange. I kind of sat up in my seat because I'm 6 feet tall and getting stronger. I'm ready to fight him if he were to go after me. Not that it was just a weird thing. It was like I think my mind kind of ran with it. Anyway, I won't 5 minutes in the commentary, and vacation hasn't even started yet. Oh well, we'll see where this takes us. So then we continue driving. See my grandparents, but then we had planned to go out on their boat on Coeur d'Alene Lake and go to a restaurant there. And so we go and do that, but it was getting kind of late, so it's like, oh, can we do it? And so we drive down to the lake. My grandpa has his boat parked in the lake in the marina area, and he gets that and gets it all situated, and we drive out there. You drive and then you like walk across like a freeway area. It's kind of weird. It's like an old freeway. It's not like a freeway now, I guess, but it's just, I guess it's still officially a freeway, but it's not like a stereotypical freeway. Maybe it is. I confuse freeways and highways, I guess. Anyway, but then there was like an 18-man like orchestra thing going on. There was like volunteer, all retired people, or maybe mentally ill people. Not mentally ill, special people. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. They weren't terrible, but it was just like wasn't good. But they didn't like charge them or anything. They just ask like restaurants if they can play there, and then they get to eat afterward, I guess. They practice like once a month. It was kind of strange, but like the only place we could sit was outside by them or whatever. And it was kind of strange, but the food was amazing. Like I got spaghetti with meat sauce pretty much, and that was delicious. And then they had these rolls that were, oh my gosh, amazing. I was pretty hungry because I didn't really eat much on the drive here. Drive there, here, whatever. But I got all that. I was weird. I just kind of like a realization that I'm talking to no one. But I'm okay with that. A lot of people have like a weird problem with that, but can't think about it, buddy. But the rolls apparently, like, because the rolls are so good, I'm like, oh man, I need some of these more rolls. Maybe I can buy them somewhere. Because they seem like they make them, but the owners moved from like Sacramento to Idaho, and then they got the rolls from like a bakery from their old restaurant down in Sacramento. Some weird story like that. But it was like super good, super delicious. Maybe it's just because I was like really hungry. I don't know. But I, ate that, and then we came back, went to sleep, and then we drove off to Priest Lake, the first part of that trip, and then we, drove off there, stayed at the cabin. The getting there was kind of weird because it's kind of like off middle of nowhere area. Walk in, get all situated, check out the beach and dock area, pretty sweet. Stay there, not too just kind of hung out. I played tons of Pokemon over there because I just gotten Pokemon White or like a few days before, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect because there's no internet or no really cousins to play with. They're just kind of hanging out, reading or whatever you want to do. I also did like on the last day I read like I was reading the short story of the history of everything. It's not that. It's by Bill Bryson. The actual, I was reading it on my iPad, but like the actual cover has like a world globe on it. It's pretty interesting actually. Has like pretty much everything you need to know. Short history of nearly everything. Pretty sure that's it, something like that. But like the last day I read like 25% of that, and it's like a pretty big book. But it was like, it's like 450 pages. I can't really compare because it's on the iPad and there's different font sizes or whatever. But it's a solid sized book, I guess. And sorry for the gameplay right now. I just kind of paused and then I tried cutting it out, but the editing thing on the HD PVR recording deal is kind of weird. But oh well. So played a lot of Pokemon. I actually beat the game on the last day because I was just racing through there. And this time actually, usually I don't level up my starter I level up my starter Pokemon, and then I just kind of get Pokemon along the way. But this time I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick up my Pokemon I want to get, because the game kind of seemed familiar because I watched a Blame Truth game or playthrough of it. And that was actually a really good playthrough. But then I never really thought I would get the game. But then I ended up getting it.